UNILAG shut hostels over COVID-19 positive cases on campus. Revert to online classes as Awujale of Ijebu cancels 2021 Ojude Oba Festival. And later on the show, the Senate has passed the Electoral Act amendment. Our plenary amended the section to make the Independent National Electoral Commission seek approval for the electronic transmission of results from the Nigerian Communications Commission and the National Assembly. I'll be hanging out with Asukwo James and Adekunle Yusuf. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Before we go into the discussion, let's talk about some good news. The first batch of the much-awaited 6 A-29 Super Tucano aircraft have departed the United States of America en route to Nigeria. According to the statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information at the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Edward Gewat, said the 6 aircraft will go through 5 countries, including Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Spain, and Algeria before arriving the final destination in Nigeria towards the end of July. An official induction of the aircraft into the inventory of the Nigerian Air Force is to follow in August. Gentlemen, cheering news. Super Tucano. Is this going to change the narrative? And this is like, we've been talking about the needs of soldiers, Nigeria Army, the armed forces to get sophisticated ammunition to deal with these enemies. And thank God the enemies are yet to possess air power. So now this will be to our advantage and we'll be able to do one or two things.
Of course. And the military needs equipment to function very well, especially in this modern era. So, and we know that some of the challenges are about lack of modern, equipment. So, good news.
Asuko, we've been pummeling and bombarding these guys, these bandits, in the last weeks. A lot of Nigerians don't get to hear about it because of the level of kidnapping and everything. As at yesterday or day before yesterday, 120 bandits were said to have been killed by these airstrikes in Zamfara. But people played it down. A lot of people did not report it. Now with this Super Tucano in the fray, those terrorists that have taken territories in Niger, Kaduna, Katsina, and Zamfara. By now, those bandits will be thinking twice. We are even learned that this is what people do, started naming their own governors in Borno State.
Even though the governor denied.
Yes, despite the denial of the governor, that those unguarded spaces that they've been naming their own governor, this 6 of this will do justice, Asuko.
Well, we want to say that we've been clamoring for game changers like this, for a very long time. We know that this might not really end the war, but we need equipment like this, whereby once we have the air support, the ground troops will be able to have confidence in moving down to mop up. For the past how many years now, I know that right here we've been saying something about.
It took us 4 years
to get this to Kano,
we are now.
because we actually ordered for 12. And so with this batch that is coming, we need more, because now it's like insecurity is virtually everywhere. If you go to the northwest, it's there. If you northeast, we are even thinking it is just going to be northeast until it now got to the northwest. Like you said, the media became very silent, in the killing of about 120 bandits. And I'm surprised that it was not everywhere. Rather, what was even being reported was the number of deaths, the statistics, and that is in terms of the number of kidnapped, number of deaths across the country. But we should also give credit, to the Nigerian military because of what they are doing. Because it is when you boost their morale, you give them credit where necessary, they will do more. And with this one coming, with the Tucano coming, we need to push these guys back, and not just to push them. We need to eliminate them. Because they are not. Once these guys catch you, they don't have mercy. They don't have mercy at all. So we need to deal with them and deal with them decisively.
Jide is on phone online with us from Abuja. Jide, for like 4 years now, we've been talking about this Super Tucano. We've waited. Nigerians have been hearing about the qualities, characteristics, and thank God the Air Force, they've started the air raid against the bandits. And this will come in like a morale booster, Baba Jide.
Yes, it certainly would, because the Super Tucanos are designed for unusual and irregular warfare scenarios. They are so good for an environment like ours. It's been tested in Mali. So, because it is a light aircraft, it can land on any hard surface, so you don't have to fly all the way.
Normal runway.
Maybe yes, where you have the runway. So in the course of combat, if there's a need to land suddenly, it will do that, and it also has the capacity to help us in terms of intelligence, surveillance, and information. So it's an aircraft that has all kinds of capabilities and all kinds of qualities that we need at this time. It's been tested in 15 countries. So one cannot say that this is not a very well-tested bird, as the Air Force people like to describe fighter jets. So it's a good thing that they are on the way. The Air Force will not want to announce when exactly they will get here for
obvious reasons, but it won't be long. They will certainly be here now before the end of this month, and by next month we can have the proper induction of these first 6 of aircraft that will be painted in desert camo. So I'm sure that the Air Force is excited about this, because it's coming at a time when we are dealing with the bandits. The Air Force is dealing with the bandits in the northwest. So with the Tucano coming on stream, we are certainly going to have more sorties, more air raids, because we have the capabilities to do that. Remember, we acquired 3 J-17 the other day from the Pakistanis, and it's very similar to the F-16s.
Jide, so, I don't know, maybe you've heard about the airstrike in the last 72 hours that Nigerian Air Force, they've been raiding in Zamfara, and they've been doing justice, as the Chief of Army Staff promised, to make sure he sent those bandits to their maker.
Yes, the air raids are continuing. What I've always advocated for is a coordinated attacks coming in the various areas through which these enemies escape. You know, when you attack a particular location, a good number of them will leave through those contiguous states to go and hide somewhere else. So the best bet for us is not to be attacking them, is to attack them simultaneously in the areas where we know they are present. So if we kill 250 at once, as it has been reported, I bet you there are thousands and thousands of them left. The governor of Zamfara said there are up to 30,000 bandits in his state.
Wow.
This is a governor who has negotiated with them, who knows some of the bandit leaders personally. So it's scary to have up to 30,000 bandits in just one state. you know, and they are very active in Katsina, very active in Kaduna, very active in Niger. In fact, Niger is the #1 in terms of kidnapping by bandits in our country. So who knows how many bandits are in Niger? And all of these states link one another. So the best thing is for us to have coordinated attacks taking place simultaneously and blocking all their exit points. If we can do that, then the days of these guys are numbered.
All right. Okay, let's also talk about another burning issue. The Senate has passed the Electoral Act amendment at plenary earlier today, but without agreement on the vexed issue of electronic transmission of results. Instead, the upper legislative chamber amended the section to make the Independent National Electoral Commission seek approval for the electronic transmission of results from the Nigerian Communications Commission and the National Assembly. Gentlemen, this is very, very funny. Asuko.
Honestly, it's very... While we are thinking that our election and the election process will be improved by technology, let me use that word, by technology, just like across the world what is happening now, we seem to be going back. Going back in the sense that politicians will always find a way and a means to always want to bring us back. I didn't expect anything different anyway, Ayo, because I know that a house that is already skewed in favor of one particular political party will always want to, if they want anything now done, they will definitely get it. You know, so the senators, what they did was they didn't want to, you know, say, okay, fine, want the electronic vote, the electronic transmission of results.
Stylishly avoided
so
it.
they now did it in such a way they amended that clause. To make it look as if, okay, fine, you guys want this thing to go.
We're not against.
We are not for
it.
against.
It's vague.
You know, but they made it so difficult in such a way that INEC, before INEC will even want to transmit, even if they transmit, they have to get approval from either the NCC or from the National Assembly. So there's another clause that is inside the clause. So rather than INEC sending the result immediately, because there's another thing that's practicable.
Complicated the matter.
Definitely. So practicable means even if you are in, just like the Deputy Speaker was saying, what of the people that are in Maiduguri, that the mass, they don't have mass, they don't have this, they don't have that. So it means that they have stylishly, the Senate has stylishly given us another clause whereby even INEC, it will be difficult for INEC to become the sole commission INEC cannot even work independently as we speak now. Because I'm even surprised that Kabir Rugaya, who was the chairman of that committee, and he agreed to electronic transmission, when it was time for voting, he voted against against what his own reports.
Okay, for Nigerians to have a fair idea of what transpired in the Senate today. Now, the final results on electronic voting. We have 28 senators saying the ayes have it. 52 saying the nays have it. 28 were absent and 0 abstained. Now, the total vote was 80. And you know, in our Senate, we have 109. That means 52 voted no. We don't want electronic voting. And 28 voted yes, we want it. Now, let me quickly go to Jide. Jide, from the vibe I'm getting from the House of Representatives, because we had to break the transmission, we were covering it live to come to have journalists stand out right now. From that vibe, I don't think this electronic voting will scale through. I saw the effort, the Speaker of the House of Representatives to sway the House. I saw the effort of Honorable James Abiodun Faleke and Honorable Raji from Ekpe Federal Constituency. But I saw a part of the country saying that we are not ready for this, that technology might not have gotten so as advanced the way it is in the south to the northern part of the country.
I want to believe that it's not simply the North, senators from the North or House of Reps members from the North alone that opposed this. Faleke came up with a motion seeking the acceptance of both electronic and manual transmission. That was what Faleke asked for. He asked for an amendment of clause 52 to allow for transmission, electronic as well as manual transmission. So that's what his own clause is about. Now, when you look at what his clause is about, he is trying to, Faleke is trying to accommodate both groups. You see, trying to accommodate both groups. And that way, you see that it is not entirely different to what the senators wanted, that where practicable, exactly, you can use electronic transmission. You can transmit results electronically. So Faleke was trying to accommodate both of his colleagues that were not in favor of electronic transmission and those in favor. Talking about the Senate, for example, some of the senators who kicked against electronic transmission were Southerners. Yes. By the time the full, the names of all the people who voted for and against come out, you will see senators, or some senators from southern Nigeria who voted against. So I disagree that, it's a part of the country that does not want it. Even the suggestion by Faleke, I do not know how it can work. If we want the law permits, the law, they should have allowed INEC to take this decision by itself. Because the Constitution says that the conduct of elections shall be the responsibility of INEC. So by twisting INEC's hands and taking the powers of INEC and giving it to both the National Assembly and the NCC, then you start wondering what's going on.
All right, Jide.
You start wondering what's going on.
Jide, just hold your breath there. I have to pay these bills. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. It's your favorite news and current affairs program on TV, that TVC News. I still have Asukwo James and Adekunle Yusuf with me, and Babajide Kolade Otitoju is throwing in his contribution from Abuja's studio. Adekunle Yusuf, before we went on that break, we were talking about the interests. We were talking about, what actually guided this lawmaker in taking the decision they took today.
Yes, just like Jide, I didn't see a North versus South or a South. What I see are people who are consumed by their own interest and nothing else. You see, a philosopher said a politician thinks about the next election. A statesman thinks about the next generation. A politician thinks about the success of his political party. A statesman thinks about the success of his country. So when you look at the people, men and women you have seen in the Senate over this matter, when you try to characterize what you are watching in the House of Reps, it's so easy to please who we have, the kind of people we have
as a country.
this is a country that requires, at this point, more of statesmen, people who can think about the future of the country, instead of maybe a ruling party, opposition party, partisan lines. It's beyond this at this moment. If we are unable to do something serious about our electoral system, that is bringing sanity into the way we recruit, leadership, make votes count. We cannot do that, then we should just resign to what we have, or things that will be worse than what we are getting. I don't know who is afraid of a transparent and credible election. I don't. If there are people that are still afraid of that at this time, then I don't know what to say, because what we have now is not the best for us. People know that in this era there's a lot technology can do to help. We just spoke about military. We know what technology can do to help against fight against insurgency. Now we are talking about election. Technology, is the game changer. We have this technology. Now, with what they are doing so far, we have a bad situation with some of the propositions here and that I've seen. They will end up making a bad situation worse, because the independence of INEC is going to be watered down from the look of things that I've seen so far.
Exactly.
So you want to please this, you want to please that. Why it's so difficult? Let INEC, we have the infrastructure. Without trying to boast, we have been to almost every part of Nigeria. The infrastructure is there to deliver, elections. Why are we always afraid?
Asuko, it said that there's no smoke without fire. 2 weeks ago, Yaga Africa sent me a document, and they alluded to the fact that something is about to go down. Do you understand? They had their fears, but these senators, they came out, they were saying, there's an attempt to demonize us, there's an attempt to do this. Now they voted, we've seen. The House of Rep, the same thing. People coming out to deny, no, we'll stand by the people, we'll stand by what is good. Now, is it standing by the people and standing with what is good that you have both manual and electronic voting? Because if you cover election, Asuko, this is a practical thing. We know what we go through.
Yes.
Anytime we are covering election.
Exactly.
By the time
Incident form.
Yes. But from the
that's what they used to rig election in Nigeria. Incident form.
Exactly.
From the candidate, from the process of the candidate,
bypass, but
down to the polling unit results, down to the transmission of results to ward level, to state level, to the local government level, state level, then down to the central coalition center. We know what goes down.
Exactly.
And we know how cumbersome. Sometimes we have our election on Saturday. By Tuesday, we are still waiting for INEC to declare who is the next president of Nigeria.
Yeah, Ayo, just like Adekunle said, our politicians are after their own interests. Let's look at the Edo election, for instance. When INEC introduced that simple technique of wherever you are, the results, snap and send, it looked more credible. It was just a credible election. Immediately,
display of
electronic transmission of results. And it happened in Ondo. So I don't know why our politicians.
One step forward.
We are moving forward, and then some people are saying, you know what? Most of these senators you are seeing, most of them are already afraid of what will happen in 2023. Forget, because they know because of how poorly they performed.
This bill is affected.
Yes.
By their fears.
Yes, it's because of their fears of 2023. Because they are looking at no, they are not looking at it. They are looking at 2023. If we make this thing possible now, 2023 they might not come back, because by then, if you are my senator, you have not performed, I will galvanize people to vote against you, and once the results are out, I will send it electronically, and then INEC will get it. So it is what INEC will tabulate, that is what it will announce. So they are really, really afraid. That is why all of them are now coming up with different clauses so that this does not go on. Even India, as big, more than 1 billion people, they are using electronic voting. India started election on Friday. By Saturday, the elections were almost over. So why are we always doing this? When we are moving forward, everybody is always leaving Nigeria behind.
The INEC chairman
everything
will now state to state, now carry his calculator.
No, do you know what we see?
No
by
Excel,
now, Nigeria.
Nothing.
No, we do not want. Do you know how cumbersome that process is? Somebody will start looking for lights to be looking at where the results are.
We saw them use it, torchlight.
You understand?
I cannot see this.
So we have to pass that era. We need to pass that era. I am surprised that the senators and the House of Rep members who are representing us are even debating something like this. When once that particular clause came up, all of them, they should have told the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is not something we should debate. We need electronic transmission of results. And then everybody will vote or whatever, and then from there we'll move on. But they have made this a big issue whereby everybody now doubts even the capacity of even most of them there. Because I just don't see why somebody will call themselves a representative, a senator, and he will go and will be telling me that he does not believe in electronic transmission of results at this age and stage.
Okay. Whereas INEC has never come out to say it is not prepared.
It's not prepared. INEC is even more prepared to even do that.
Electronic voting.
Yes, they are prepared because INEC has they have the money, they have the capacity, they have everything to give us.
You join us as we continue Journalist Hangouts. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Babajide, what is your final take on this?
Well, I listened to the Speaker of the House of Reps describing today as a moment in history and saying we must do whatever we are convinced in our conscience is in the best interest of our nation. But he was evidently speaking to a wall. And I'm sure that he knows his colleagues. I almost burst into laughter when Asuko was saying that he's disappointed in senators, that he's surprised that an individual senator will be against electronic transmission of results, that they should have told the Deputy Speaker that, look, this is what we want. People who have decided among themselves since last night that they do not want this thing. You expected them to tell the Deputy Speaker that it is electronic transmission that they wanted. That's not going to happen. I was reading earlier that even Ojus Okalu opposed it, saying that there is no network in his village. Is it that when he goes to his village, he never communicates with anyone on phone or what? When people want to achieve some aims, they come and tell us all kinds of funny things. These guys, and some were saying that, in some parts of Borno State, no masts, this and that. In Borno State, in the places where Boko Haram have destroyed masts and other places, elections are held inside the IDP camps. 2015, 2019, 90% of elections in Borno State were held in IDP camps.
And they returned almost 80% votes.
And where we have those IDP camps, there is network. There is network. So I never knew my country could get to this level. That people will be opposed to technology as a means of delivering free, fair, and credible elections. So we still want to encourage people to snatch ballot boxes. We want to encourage people to hijack results on their way to local government collation centers, because that's what happens.
It influences it.
And this electronic transmission result will have helped us to put that aside. Because once everyone has the result, all the agents have the result, and it is transmitted electronically to a portal. There is no way anybody can steal election results on the way to collation center anymore. Everybody will have it. The only thing is that people won't be able to on their own announce results, but they can do collation.
Yes.
I'm watching the listening. I can see one of the lawmakers bent on exchanging blows with his colleagues. Everybody is begging him, you know. It's a terrible day to be in Nigeria. The guy is bent on fighting.
House of Rep.
In the House of Reps, he wants to exchange blows. Up to 7 individuals are trying to hold him. And if we talk about Senate crimes now, they will abuse us.
Yes.
What is it? This electronic that we are talking about is just your phone. Just your phone that you use to snap results.
Result and send.
INEC has invested on a portal where up to 2 million people at a time can access results. We want all of that to go. INEC invested in card readers. We refuse to use it.
We now brought incidents form.
We refuse to use it because we want to rig election. Election rigging is barbaric. We are still snatching ballot boxes in this age and time. Look at the frontline states in Southern Africa that Nigeria helped them to build solid countries. Today, those countries are Africa's pride. Everyone has left us behind. What we are doing today in Botswana, they can never do it. They have gone past that level.
Well, finally, the slide into a third wave of COVID-19 pandemic is gradually dawning on us, following discovery of the highly contagious Delta variant in Nigeria last week. The University of Lagos, UNILAG, has shut its hostels and told students to vacate the halls of residents to check the spread of COVID-19. The University Senate took the decision after some students tested positive to the virus. Classes for the rest of the semester will now hold virtually until the 26th of July. On the heels of that, the Awujale and Paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetono, has approved the cancellation of the 2021 edition of the annual Ojude Oba Festival due to the discovery of the Delta variant and negligible people that have taken the vaccine. Asuko is not up to 3 million people that have taken that vaccine, and the first tranche and second tranche is very difficult in Nigeria. Let's start from University of Lagos. University of Lagos, they noticed at the health center that some students came to complain that they had flu-like symptoms and everything, and they immediately swung into action. They raised the alarm day before yesterday, but you know the way it is, from classroom to hostels. And those hostels, they are not hostels that you just have one person occupying a room. You have maybe 4, 2, 3, 4 no, maybe during your time in Osu. This is really like, it's not up to 4 again.
I stayed off campus.
No, Asuko attended.
Yes, sir.
Where?
Where? Olabiso Obajo.
Osu. Yes. Oh, it's not your residential.
But it's not residential.
I understand you.
But the bottom line is that, you know, the process of moving from lecture room down to hostels and everything, so, and the on-site class, so that's good. Enhance the spread.
Yeah, I think it was a very proactive move by the university authorities, because if not, the thing will just keep spreading. And don't forget, you are even talking about from the hostel, from the classroom. If they are going to like going straight to the gate side, and they're not entering, they're not trekking in Unilag. You have to enter a transport.
Yes.
Yeah, either the bus or the cab.
Yes.
You know, so that is how the
Some
thing
from
will keep
Yaba,
spreading.
some from Bariga.
Exactly.
You know, they'll just
it
come
will just
in.
keep spreading and spreading. So now I don't know how they want to do the contact tracing, because it's going to be huge.
They've gone beyond that.
So the best thing is what they have done. So all those who have, you know, made entry into Unilag in the past couple of weeks should go and do test themselves. No, I've not been to school for a very long time. You know?
Are you sure?
So yeah, no, I've not been to Unilag for a long time. You know. So, but the thing is, I like what they did, shutting down the school, and then seeing how they can curb the spread for now. Because I know that Unilag, for a couple of, I know like a month or two, they've even started, once you want to enter into any class, they will give you sanitizer and then face mask, you know. So now that they've shut the school, they have to also see how the so-called, in quote, I'm using so-called, the virtual classes will hold for these students, you know.
No, our alma mater, small school. Let's see if you go to Ife, if you go to other schools, they have a lot of land, wide expanse of land to deal with, and spaces and everything. But this one is so congested from the main gates down to everywhere is now very choky and congested. So what the University Senate did, I think it was the right call. Just make sure, get everybody off that campus for now. Decongest that campus.
Well, a good decision, commendable one, but the picture you are painting about Unilag exists virtually in every university I've visited in Nigeria, OAU, ABU, everywhere. Because it is not the space, it's the classrooms. So they are doing physical, you know, lecture. Unilag started with online, and after getting it, they said, okay. Gradually, they incorporated the normal classes. So Unilag is doing the same as we speak. We are attending lectures. So when you look at Nigerians generally, we've dropped the idea of masking up. You need to see. Look at people in the open spaces. Look at people in the vehicles, markets, everywhere. We've dropped that idea, which is not a good thing. Many people believe that, we passed that era of coronavirus. So we need to make people to start observing
their members there's no such
that non-pharmaceutical, protocols. We need to revert to so that whether you are in the lecture room, whether you are in the vehicle, whether anywhere you find yourself, it is better. And when you look at the quantity of vaccines, that we have done in Nigeria,
negligible.
So most Nigerians are still, vulnerable to COVID-19. So we need to emphasize that, even though when you see figures, they say, no, how many? We've not been able to vaccinate up to 1% of the population. So when you look at globally, I think about 2.5 billion, doses, administered globally. It's only about 1.5 of that figure that is done in Africa. So Africa is totally behind. Now, when you look at Delta variant they are talking about, it's happened in like about 14 countries in Africa now. And when you look at WHO projections, they say we are facing a big risk because it's going to be a little more deadly than the second wave. You understand me? So when you look at the second wave, you will see that it was more, terrible than the first wave. So they are saying we should put on our guards this time around. And so what Unilag did is what I would expect every university and other higher institutions, to embrace, because you don't have to wait. If you wait, it happens, it may be out of hand.
Julie, what are we looking at here? Because this third wave, this Delta variant is very scary. It's so scary, and we just hope out of 200 million people, it is certified that just 2.9 million people have taken their first and second jab, have been vaccinated. So it's just like a drop in a big ocean.
The truth is that you are vaccinated does not even insulate you against contracting this deadly Indian strain of the coronavirus. The Indians are not happy that the world was referring to it as the Indian variant. So in the end, the name was changed to Delta variant. You saw the way it was killing people in India. And it's particularly dangerous because it attacks young people a lot, whether you had an underlying ailment or not. It could strike you and then take your life within a short time. Unfortunately, many people who had been vaccinated have tested positive. You may not fall sick, but you are in position to infect other people. So thereby spreading it, which is why it is particularly dangerous. I'm happy that the UNILAG management took this decision because that was the best thing that they could do. And one thing that we need to do better as a country is tracking these travelers. People come into our country and refusing to obey our safety protocols. They are endangering the lives of Nigerians. The governor of Lagos State complained that about 18% of some travelers, they are looking for them. They can't find them. So if these people are infected, then the rest of us are in danger of being infected. So we've got to do something quickly. In the meantime, we have to stay safe. We have to stay safe. We have to begin to use our mask again, especially where we are in crowded areas. We do not have the infrastructure base, the health infrastructure to withstand this problem.
Ravaging problem.
We need oxygen in abundance because this one requires it a lot because of the quickness with which it takes lives. So where oxygen is not in abundance, it could lead to many loss of lives. And as we have seen, because we had the Copa America, we had the European Championships, there are now fresh infections in some of the countries that took part in this competition. For some time, the Britons were experiencing 0 deaths. Now, I was reading about 50 people dead in the UK. So it's possible that because of the large gathering at Wembley and the rest, majority of them not wearing masks at all,
so we have to
there will be infections in those areas. And Nigerians go to those countries a lot.
Kuleshi, let's commend Oba Sikiru Adesina Awujale for cancelling that Ojude Oba. Though Ojude Oba is always interesting, that all the Jebus from across the world will converge at that Ojude Oba every year. I think 2 days after Ileya Festival, it's meant to come next Thursday or so, but it has been cancelled by Oba Adesina.
It's really, really commendable, and that's patriotic comment because to every Jebu son and daughter, that's the big deal. So if it is cancelled, it is a big, sacrifice. And if, the monarch is a highly respected one.
Yes.
And it's known for action, not,
talking.
No. It's known for action over the years. Very brave, there are some people, when it comes to taking actions, they have to find them. I
think it was a very good decision, because just like Jide said, all those competitions, the football competition, you can see an uptick in the rates of...
To reduce the crowd in the stadium and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Adekunle Yusuf, I want to thank you for your contribution. Asuko James, thank you for coming. And Babajide Kolade Otitoju, thank you for your contribution all the way from Abuja. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. And don't forget to join us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. This Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Bye for now and God bless Nigeria.